everybody, BrickLover18 here today. Hey 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 everyone, it's Brad from BrickLover18. Hey, what is up everyone? It is BrickLover18 here today. What is up you guys? It is Brad here. What is up everyone? It is BrickLover Brad here. What is up you guys? It is Brad here. Hey everybody, BrickLover18 here today. Wait, no. What's up you guys? It is Brad here, and holy crap, I cannot believe we are here with the 100th episode of AskBrick. It's hard to believe that I uploaded my very first episode of AskBrick over 6 years ago now. The very first episode of AskBrick was posted on May 22nd, 2019. What a wild time that was. I had just moved into my brand new studio here in Toronto, which is not where I am anymore. I've moved since then. But I just moved into my new studio. I had a dedicated filming space for the first time ever with a table and a camera setup and a set behind me. Every time in my old Lego room, I had a dedicated like white area, but I didn't have a dedicated space like this where I could sit and talk to the camera. And when I got that space, I was like, oh my God, I'm starting this new Q&A series. And here we are 6 years later, still doing the Q&A. So that is epic. Thank you all so much for watching this series over the last 6 years. I'm very excited to be here today with 100 episodes. It is wild watching old clips of this show, just because like not only have I changed so much as a person, as you guys can see, but also just like the way my camera angles have changed, the way my backdrop has changed, my displays, the audio, like, yeah, a lot of good improvements in the last 6 years. So very excited for that. And yeah, it was really fun going down memory lane for that. But for those of you who are new to the channel and haven't seen any of my other episodes before, this is AskBrick. This is my Q&A show here on YouTube and across all my social media platforms. Today, I've got a bunch of really cool questions for you guys. And I'm just, as I said, I'm very excited to be here 100 episodes later. So it is going to be a ton of fun. So let's get right into this week's questions. First one, this is a great question, and this one makes a lot of sense because of the convention seasons that have been happening recently. This one's from OKO Bricks. AskBrick, how does BrickFair compare to Brickworld? So long answer short, I would say both conventions they're just so different. They're both amazing. I think both of them are amazing in different ways. I love both of them. I went to both of them this year. I went to both of them last year as well. So obviously there are a few little differences about each show. Like if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said Brickworld is just, it's a lot bigger. It's more chaotic. A lot more going on. BrickFair definitely felt a little bit more chill, a little bit more relaxed, and I think that's still kind of the case. Like, it was very nice. You know, BrickFair, it just seems like there's more time to hang out with people. Convention itself is a little bit smaller, like the actual space, so there's less mocks to look at. Sometimes in Chicago, I feel a little bit overwhelmed because I'm like, oh my God, there's so much to look at. I'm not going to see it all. I think it's a little, every show you go to, depending on where it is, it's a, like BrickFair or Brickworld or literally any other convention, it's a little bit different because like the region the show's hosted, I feel like there are different interests. So what I noticed from going to BrickFair for the first time after a few years was they have a lot more military and government things than they do in Chicago. And I think that has to do with the fact that you're right near DC, you're right near a bunch of Army, Navy bases, that kind of thing. So like the interest in those elements is a little bit higher than somewhere a little bit more north, like in Chicago, where there's not a military base, there's not a lot of government there. So I think that the mocks are a little bit different, like because just people's interest at the show is a little bit different. But other than that, both shows are very, very similar. They're different in the sense that you get a different experience as you go to both of them, but it's not, one's not better, one's not worse. Like they're both really good. But in terms of like everything else you could expect to find at a LEGO convention, there's still mocks, there's still people, there's still stuff to buy, there's still games and activities, there's still events. I said BrickFair is just a little bit of a smaller show, so I feel like it's a little bit more manageable, a little bit less stressful. Chicago's a lot bigger and there's a lot more going on. But yeah, they're very, very similar. If you could only go to one show, I feel like you gotta just kind of go where it's convenient for you, or like if they're both kind of convenient or both equally inconvenient, like where, you know, what kind of mocks do you want to see? Are you more into military? Maybe BrickFair is the way to go. If you want to see more people, more like content creators, maybe Brickworld's the way to go. Like it's kind of up to you. If you can go to both, I recommend it. Both are amazing. But yeah, they're very similar, I would say. Bunch of Bricks asked, Brick, when you worked at the Lego store, were you allowed to make Lego videos for TikToks and social media? So yeah, I was. I've talked about this in the past. When I worked at the Lego store, they did not care that I did social media. I told them my interview because I didn't want to get hired and they find out I did this and then get fired. fired. So I did tell them I did Lego. They literally just did not care. And they never even really had to say, like, as long as it doesn't impact your store. I think it's because, like, when I worked at the Lego store, I didn't want to tell people on YouTube that I worked there, just because I didn't want people to know and ask questions about it back then. Like, I just didn't disclose it. But, like, it's not like Lego was giving me anything. There was no conflict of interest there. I just didn't talk about it here. But yeah, I still made videos. The only thing that ever changed about my Lego operations when I worked at the Lego store was I stopped reselling Lego, because that was against policy. So I closed my Bricklink store and just didn't do anything for over a year with it. Yeah, like, I still made videos. I never filmed videos in the store. I never used my knowledge from the Lego store to make videos. Like, if a brand new set was coming out and I got to hold it at the back of the Lego store, I didn't come home and then make a video about that set, because that would have been using my employment by Lego for personal gain, in my opinion. So that wasn't, I didn't do anything like that. But yeah, I still made videos as I normally would. I kind of wish that I was able to do more. Like, it would have been cool. Like, back in the day, Lego store employees used to bring new sets home and build them on their off hours and then bring them back to the store. If I was able to do that, that would have been cool, because I could have filmed like speed builds, or I could have filmed reviews of brand new sets that I don't actually have to buy, but I wanted to do videos on, and then take them back to the store and have the video go up before it was like released and stuff. But that program was done by the time I started working at Lego. And again, I feel like that would have been a conflict of interest. So I think my experience is kind of unique. I know a lot of friends that I've had worked at the Lego store, they didn't have the same experience. Like, the Lego store didn't treat them as nicely as they did me. But yeah, when I was a Lego store employee, I still made videos. Absolutely no problem. Another question about when I worked at Lego. This one's from Dark Lucas. AskBrick, when you worked at the Lego store, could you buy retired sets? Basically, the only sets that you could buy at the Lego store were ones that were currently on shelves, and you could get them obviously for 50 or 30% off, depending on how long you'd worked there. The only time that I would say I bought a retired set was one time a mother came in with 2 older Lego Batman movie sets, and she came in and she goes, "My son got these a few years ago for his birthday. He doesn't want them. Can I return them?" And she didn't have the receipt, or I think she maybe even did have the receipt. I don't know what it was, but she was like, we took the return back, which is something we didn't normally, like, if the set was past 30 days, we didn't normally return it. But because they were sealed and like official sets, we did take them back. And then we put them on the clearance section for what the last price in the system was, which was like 30% off. So I bought them on my employee discount. I got 50% off the 30% off. Like, one of them was this set right here. I can't remember what it's called, but I got that for a really good deal, and it had been retired. So that was the only instance where I ever got a retired Lego set, was the fact that my store manager took a set back that had long since retired. But no, any other set that we could buy had to be on shelves. Like, if it retired and we still had it in stock, we could buy it, but like, we didn't get access to exclusive Lego sets or anything like that. The only thing that we did sometimes do was we had, you know, the store displays that you build a set, you put it on the store display, and then when that retires, they have those built sets, and they would often give those away to Lego employees. We didn't buy them, and they were pre-built. Half of them were missing parts and figures and stuff like that. But yeah, that was the only chance you could get to get retired sets. Other than that, you had to buy what was currently available. Somebody asked this one on my Brickworld Chicago haul. This is from that one guy. Ask Brick, how the heck are you able to afford all of this Lego? That applies to both my Brickworld haul, and I feel like any, you know, like looking around my room, any haul I do, how I'm able to afford this Lego is, for starters, I'm an adult. I have a job, and when you have a job, you have money you get paid for your services, and you have money to go buy Lego bricks. I choose to spend my money on Lego instead of, you know, choosing to spend it on other things or other activities or other purchases. I don't buy a lot of clothes. I don't, you know, spend a lot of money on other random things. Like, I choose to kind of do Lego with my money. So that's kind of how I spend my money. I do have a job. In addition to having a job, I also do Lego YouTube and Lego content creation. So I get a lot of that Lego. Like, when I go to a place like Chicago, I film videos when I'm there. I buy things when I'm there to make content on when I get home. And it all like circles through. Like, I spend money to go to Chicago. I spend money in Chicago, but then I come home, I make some videos. Those videos run ads on them. I get paid for that. Then it helps pay for the trip. It helps pay for the Lego I buy. I grow my following. I get noticed by brands, and I get brand deals. They pay me to make videos for them. And it's just like, it's a cycle. So I'm able to justify, I feel like, a lot of my Lego purchases because I have this income, this secondary income that's in addition to my actual job, where I can make a video. Like, example, I made a video of the Citizen Brick Swimmers, which we're going to talk about later in this episode. I bought those. I think I spent $10 on those. But I made significantly more money on the videos that I've made of that product than spent buying the actual product itself. So to me, that was a $10 video expense because I needed to spend that $10 to make those videos. And then I made a bunch of other money with it, gained a bunch of followers, we'll get more, it leads to more brand deals, that kind of thing. So I guess like the biggest thing is A, I have a job, and B, I do YouTube, which I feel like I would still buy Lego even if I didn't do YouTube. The YouTube like supplements the income and kind of helps me justify it a little bit more. Maybe you wouldn't want to spend $800 on a Lego Titanic if you had to, spend that money just from your actual job. But because I'm a YouTuber, because I make money on the Titanic video, I get to make content on it, that kind of thing. It helps me justify it a little bit more. So I would say like if you're a kid asking this question, because I remember as a kid, I used to always be like, how the heck do adults afford this? You will realize once you actually have a job and have money, you can make those choices. And obviously you have bills and other expenses as well. But I remember as a kid when the only time you would get money is from random odd chores or your birthday or Christmas. And you're like in the middle of summer and you're like, how do I get money to buy these sets? Well, eventually you will have a job. You will get paid every 2 weeks and you will have more disposable income to spend on things you like. So, and you're an adult. You get to make your own choices. You don't have your parents telling you not to. So yeah, that's personally how I afford my Lego. This question right here is a good follow-up to that one. This is from Archie Miller. AskBrick, where do you buy all your Lego from? So as you just saw from the last question, I go to, that's a good example. I went to a Lego convention. I bought Lego while I was at that Lego convention to add to my collection. I go to a lot of Lego conventions throughout the year, and every time I go, I seem to somehow pick up a bunch of different Legos. So when I go to conventions, I buy stuff. I also get things from like Walmart and Lego Shop at Home and the Lego Store and Amazon, those kind of places. Like that's where you buy Lego sets. I'm always scouring Facebook Marketplace to see if I can get any good deals there. Like I got my Lego typewriter from Facebook Marketplace recently, and I've also been collecting Lego since 2008. So it is now 2025. So I've been on collecting Lego for like over 17 years now. So I have, amassed a bunch of Lego since then. I'm part of a Lego users group, which every quarterly meeting we have, people go and sell Lego there. So I buy bulk Lego. Like, yeah, I get my Lego from a ton of different sources, but I would say like, if you're asking that question because you're trying to grow your Lego collection, obviously the store is the easiest answer. That's where it's obviously the easiest to get Lego. But like, that's not obviously the most economical, and you're limited to buying just sets. So you could also, I also get Bricklink, forgot about that one, but like you can buy Lego on Bricklink, eBay, Lego Shop at Home, look for clearance sets, look on Facebook Marketplace, and like go to Lego conventions. Cause yeah, the sets are the easiest ones. You obviously get sets from a Lego store, but like where do you get extra minifigures? Where do you get loose Lego pieces? Like check your local Facebook Marketplace, check Bricklink, check Lego conventions, those kind of places. And you're obviously not going to grow a collection like this overnight. Like it took me 17 years to get to this place, but that's kind of where I would recommend you get started. And that's where I get a lot of my Lego. And speaking of my Lego collection, Lorraine asked, AskBrick, have you ever figured out how much you have invested in your Lego collection? And do you have an insurance rider on your collection? So I would say I roughly know how much is here in my Lego collection. And I say roughly because it's kind of impossible to know exactly how much your Lego collection is worth. So like what I do is I log all my sets on Brickset, and I log anything important on Brickset, which gives you a rough value of how much you have in your Lego collection. However, it doesn't account for anything you buy, if you buy bulk bricks on Facebook Marketplace, or you buy bulk online when you go to a convention and you fill a bag of Lego pieces, or you get just like random minifigures, or you get things from Pick-a-Brick or Bricklink and things like that. Like you obviously can't really track that very well. So like I use Brickset as a starter. Like I know I have no less than X amount and X 100,000 pieces in my collection based on just the sets I have. But I also know that it's significantly more because while I log all my sets, I can't log, like I said, anything I buy on Bricklink, or like the pieces, or any of the pieces that I buy at Lego conventions, or bulk Lego lots and stuff like that. So that's I roughly know how much I have invested just because of Brickset, and then I just add, a couple thousand and a couple thousand pieces to it just because I know how much pieces I just buy that I can't account for. But I also do have an insurance rider for my collection. So I used to have collectibles insurance, this is not insurance advice. Do not sue me if anything happens to your collection. This is just what I've done. But I used to have a rider for my collection that it was significantly more expensive. It was a couple $100s a year, and it accounted for the whole value of the collection. However, when I was renewing my policy this year, I consulted some other insurance brokers, and they said unless you have certain elements of your collection that are very valuable, then a collection insurance isn't entirely necessary. The example they gave me for, say, it was like baseball cards. Some baseball cards are worth tens of thousands of dollars each, and that's like, oh, you should know, your insurance company should know that one baseball card is worth $10,000. However, for me and my Lego collection, there's not like a single piece that's really, really expensive. Like nothing is outrageous. I feel like a lot of what I have is kind of average, and obviously it fluctuates a little, but I don't have any $10,000 minifigures that if they got lost or destroyed or something like that, the insurance company is not going to be like, what do you mean you had a $10,000 minifigure? So because my collection's more just like contents, it's not unbelievable and I have it documented, the insurance broker said I could probably just up the value of my contents of my condo. So before I had, $50,000 of condo contents insurance, and then I had my Lego collection insured for an additional amount. I just contacted my insurance company and said, hey, insure my condo for like $150,000 or something like that to account for the contents of my Lego room, and they let me do it. And it's about the same and a little bit cheaper, but it just made more sense to me to do it that way because, like, say I had a fire or something like that, like the contents of my house are what needs to be replaced. Like I don't have a crazy rare $10,000 minifigure, stuff like that. But yes, long answer short, my Lego collection is insured. I don't have a separate rider on it. I just have my condo's content insurance are high enough for the contents to cover the Lego collection and all the things in my condo if a disaster were to happen. But as I said, that is not insurance advice. That is just my personal experience. This next one is from Chase Coyote X. Ask Brick, what set was the Lego swimmers created for? So I said earlier in this video we were going to talk about these Lego swimmers, but I made a couple videos recently about the Lego swimmers. Anytime I go to a convention and I see them there, I've made videos on them. I first saw them in Chicago in 2024 and have made a couple videos ever since, and they went viral this summer, which was amazing. I'm thrilled when a video goes viral. It really helps out my channel. But the question was, what set do these come from? The answer is they actually don't come in a Lego set. So while I don't really make this clear in the video because I do call them Lego swimmers at a Lego convention, they are not actually official Lego pieces. Those are custom injected molded parts using ABS plastic, which is the same plastic Lego uses, by a company called Citizen Brick. And Citizen Brick makes these third-party Lego pieces and custom prints them, and they sell them. So while they are not actually official Lego pieces, they are Lego compatible, and to me, I count them as a Lego custom. They're not knockoff or anything like that because they're designed and sold to complement the Lego collector's hobby, but they're not actually sold in any Lego set. That would be insane if Lego put those in a Lego set. When people watch that video, they don't reckon, like, if they don't know what Citizen Brick is, they're like, what the hell? Like, this is crazy. But if you know Citizen Brick, you know that they're expensive customs for Lego. They're not meant for kids. They are meant for adults. That's why the pieces are expensive. That's why the minifigures are expensive. And that's why sometimes it's very adult humor. They're meant for adults. Which kind of leads us into this next question. But no, they are not in any Lego sets. And then, of course, speaking of that next question, so are these Lego swimmers supposed to be swimmers? And I'm not going to say what they're supposed to be because I'm going to get demonetized. But yes, it is the word that is part of the reproductive system and how like future Lego fans are made. Again, I can't say it. I don't want to get demonetized. But yes, are they not inappropriate? This question's from Pinto. Again, this comes back to Citizen Brick. Citizen Brick is an company that specializes in custom Lego items, elements, and products for adult Lego fans. Yes, they are sold at a Lego convention where there are kids present, but I feel like they call them swimmers, which is a very PG name. They could be called the actual word, or they could be more vulgar. And like people argue that they're tadpoles, stuff like that. Like at the end of the day, is it a little inappropriate? Yes, I guess you could be a little offended. Whatever, it's not vulgar, it's not gross, it's not like nudity, stuff like that. It is part of the reproductive system. It's a little weird, but as I said, it's adult humor. It's meant for adults to enjoy. It's meant for the adult collectors. It's not meant for kids. I feel like if kids saw that, they're probably, if they're old enough to know what it is, then they're probably old enough to laugh about it. And if they're young enough to not know what it is, then they probably don't get it when they look at it. They just think it's a tadpole or something like that. So sure, I guess you could argue that it's inappropriate, but at the end of the day, I think it's supposed to be there for fun. I think it's a little bit of a joke. It's not that serious. It is what it is. I think it's a fun product. I think a lot of people in my comments think it's a fun product, but yeah, I guess it could be seen as a little inappropriate because it is sold at a kid's Lego convention, but I feel like for those who get it, they'll laugh about it, it is what it is, and then for those who don't, it's not like a kid might get it, just move on. You don't explain it to your kid, but I think if we start calling it inappropriate and blah, 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 I think we've taken it a little too far. It's a joke product. It's sold by a vendor it's expensive. It's sold by a vendor that specializes in things for adults. Like, I think we just have to take it for what it is. It's not that serious. All right, you guys, I answered a ton of really fun questions here in this video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you again for helping me celebrate 100 episodes of AskBrick. I'm so grateful to have been able to do this series for the last 6 years. It has been a ton of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Of course, if you do have questions down in the comments below for future episodes of AskBrick, please let me know because I'd love to answer them up. But like I said, thanks for listening to today's episode. I had a lot of fun answering these questions. And once again, thank you for 6 years of this series. I hope to do 6 more. It's a lot of fun for me to do. And yeah, it's been a blast. So thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and of course, subscribe. And I'll see you in a few weeks with another episode. All right, see you next time.